In this video, we're reviewing how to combine like terms. So remember, like terms are terms that are similar and have the same variables on them. So if I'm looking here at 3x, I want to look for terms that have the same variables, like I said. So I know that minus x is going to go with 3x because they both have an x on them. But you'll notice that 2x squared is not a like term because it has that squared on it. That's not going to be the same variable or the same tile. So just those two. So I'm going through and underlining the terms so I can kind of organize them to make this easier. So I've done my x's. Next, I'm going to do the units, and I'm going to use 2 lines this time just so I can tell a difference between the x's and the units. So I have plus 2, and then I notice that plus negative 3 are also tiles because there's no variables after. And you'll notice how I'm underlining the sign in front of the numbers or the variables. And that's because I want to make sure I pay attention to the positives and negatives. We don't want to forget those up front. And then lastly, plus 2x squared, that would have 3 lines because it's not a like term with anything else. So now I'm going to make my columns on the side over here. And I'm just going to write what's grouped together to make it a little bit easier. So I'll start with 3x. And then minus x is a like term, and I know that because they both have 1 line underneath. Next, I have my units, so I have plus 2 and plus negative 3. So these two go together. And then lastly, the plus 2x squared is just all on its own. And then now I'm just going to go through and add the terms together. So 3x minus x means 3x minus 1x. Anytime there's just an x or a variable, there's invisible 1 in front. So 3x minus 1x is 2x. Next we have plus 2 plus negative 3. That would be negative 1 because I would start at 2 on the number line and go backwards 3 spaces. And then 2x squared is just all on its own. So then I would just write out my answer. So 2x minus 1 plus 2x squared. That'd be my final answer. And I can't do anything else with that because remember the x's are the skinny tiles, the units are the little ones, and the x squareds are the big squared. So these are not like terms, so I can't combine those. So this is just going to be my final answer. All right, let's do the same thing on number 2. Let's see, let's start with xy. And I do see an x and I do see a y, but those are not like terms with xy because nothing else has an x and a y after it. So that one's all by itself. So let me go on to plus x and put 2 lines. And then plus 4x is going to go with plus x because they both have an x on the end. All right, the next one, let's do 3 lines. So minus 5 is going to go with plus 10 because those are both units. And then lastly, we have plus y. I'll do 4 lines because it's a new one. And then minus 7y is going to go with that, so it also gets 4 lines. Okay, let me do my columns again. All right, so first we have xy. That one's all on its own. Next I have plus x and plus 4x. Next I have minus 5 and plus 10. And then lastly I have plus y and minus 7y. So you can see that the lines are helpful because I can see what goes together. Like I can see that x and 4x go together because they both have 2 lines. I can see that plus y and minus 7y go together because they both have 4 lines. And then I can see that negative 5 and plus 10 both go together because they only have 3 lines. So it just kind of helps you organize. All right, let's go through now and add our like terms. So xy is all alone. Remember, plus x means plus 1x. So plus 1x plus 4x would be 5x. Plus 5x. Minus 5 plus 10, that would be positive 5. And plus y again is plus 1y. So 1y minus 7y would be negative 6y. So for my final answer, let me just write those all together. 6y. And remember, that's going to be our final answer. We can't do anything else because I can't combine xy with anything. I can't combine 5x with anything else. Can't combine 5 with anything else. I can't combine negative 6y with anything else. And you don't have to do the table and all that, but if it helps you organize, it's usually a good idea.